friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Blue, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. And let's pick up all gods here on this game day Saturday. Oh my God. Wow. This has been crazy because we have watched the Washington football team last night. They played, let's be clear here. Let me give a shout out to the Washington football team. Thus far, they have looked the best out of our division. The Eagles, I'm sorry, Eagles fans, I know you're going to say it's just preseason. It doesn't matter, that it's no big deal. You're not worried or anything else. But I'm sorry. Eagles, you look like trash. You look like trash. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You look like trash. Washington last night, playing against Cincinnati, their defense looked stout. I've got some questions on Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think Washington fans are expecting Ryan Fitzpatrick to be something that he has yet to achieve in his career, but I always say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Now, the Cowboys tonight, they get a chance against the Texans, much like the Washington team that played Cincinnati. Let's be clear, Cincinnati is not that good of a team. Cincinnati leaves a lot to be desired. Cincinnati is rebuilding. They're young. That should have been a mismatch for Washington. And in the same way, going in tonight, after all of the things that have happened to the Texans in a year, and it's crazy how quickly things change in the NFL. Last year, you'll remember, the Texans were coming off of their first playoff win. Sean Watson got the big contract. The team seemed to be pointing in the right direction. And then Dan O'Brien basically said, you know what? I'm Bill Belichick. I'm going to go ahead and trade Hopkins, and I'm going to bring in a running back and some draft picks and everything else. I'm going to go ahead and rebuild this team the way I want to. And that seemed to be the beginning of the end of the Houston Texans because they literally dropped off the face of the earth. Deshaun Watson, through all of his legal issues and everything else, right now is the fourth-string quarterback and wants to get out of there. The Texans have completely dismantled and are starting all over. So this should be an opportunity for the Dallas Cowboys to actually play a team that's not very good. The Steelers, of course, always a playoff team. The Cardinals, an up-and-coming team. And tonight we will see our defense playing for the whole half, apparently minus, of course, DeMarcus Lawrence. Now, here's what I want to see. I want to see a pass rush. I want to see them stop the run. And I want to see Dan Quinn's people put this all together. And the crazy thing about this is, as you think back to a lot of the Super Bowl championship teams of the last, recent history, the thing that you'll forget about or won't remember is how great some of these defenses were. Think about the Seattle Seahawks that went to 2. They had the number 1 scoring defense, number 1 yardage defense, and first in taking the football away. Think about the Denver Broncos with Peyton Manning, who was a shell of himself. That defense with DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller. Think about the Baltimore Ravens, of course, with Ray Lewis and crew. Even New England, the funny thing is most people don't realize how good New England's defense has been. The fact that Tom Brady has never won the Super Bowl with a defense that was worse than 8th rated lets you know about how important defenses are. And make no mistake about it, Dak Prescott and crew, they were on a record-setting pace. They were scoring points in bunches. But if you don't have some semblance of a defense, you have a defense that's giving up 30 points or more a game, you're not going to win the Super Bowl. That is a fact. And if this team is going to get to where we hope it to be, it's going to be because this defense makes a major change from where we were last year. Now, to compare this defense and say, well, the Dallas Cowboys defense is trash, you can't compare what this defense has done that's been completely rebuilt. And believe me, It's been completely rebuilt. It's young. It's got length. It's got athleticism, and it's got speed. You can't say that about last year's defense. There's so many pieces that have changed. For example, who would you rather have right now? Aldon Smith or Randy Gregory? Who would you rather have? Now, granted, Aldon Smith has greater career numbers. Randy Gregory only has like 10.5 sacks in his career. But you look at the lack of wear and tear, you look at the youth, and now finally having a off season with the Cowboys in a contract year, that young pup, I think, will be much better than what Aldon Smith was last year. You could arguably say that Randy Gregory was better last year than Aldon Smith was in his limited playing time. Aldon Smith was a starter. Randy Gregory was a role player. I'll take that one. Let's say Tyrone Crawford versus OC or Keith Urban. Which one of those guys would you take? Tyrone Crawford of coming back from 2 hip surgeries? Or, I'm sorry, Brent, I keep saying Keith Urban. It's my dyslexia, forgive me. Brent Urban or OC. I'll take those 2 guys. I'll take the rotation of those 2 guys over them. D-Law, of course, is going to be the same. Gallimore's going to miss some time, but would you take Antoine Woods or Neville Gallimore? Would you take Dontari Poe or Quentin Bohannon? Quentin Bohannon's young and raw and doesn't have much experience, but Dontari Poe was overweight, old, and injured. I got to say that's got to be an improvement. Would you take Keanu Neal over Jalen Smith? Or would you take Micah Parsons over Jalen Smith? Or would you take Jalen Smith and Micah Parsons over Jalen Smith? Keanu Neal, Micah Parsons over Jalen Smith. Because I got to think that between those 2 guys, that's got to be improvement. Would you take Xavier Woods or Joseph Hooker? Malik Hooker. So not the Civil War general. Jeez. Malik Hooker or Dontre Kaziz. You can look around on this defense and you can see where they got younger, quicker, and better personnel across the board. From that defense last year that was abysmal, you're not seeing a whole lot of the guys that started at the beginning of the season that will probably start. DeMarcus Lawrence. I don't know that Jalen Smith starts. Jordan Lewis. Anthony Brown. I'm not sure Anthony Brown's going to be a starter. And who else am I missing? Randy Gregory didn't start. Neville Gallimore didn't start. Parsons, Kaziz, Hooker, Neal. All these guys are all new guys. And on top of it, here's half of the problem of the defense last year was they didn't understand what they wanted. They didn't have enough time to implement what they wanted them to do. They didn't have time to learn it. As Jalen Smith said, it's too complex. They now have a coach who has hands-on been with these guys and been teaching the whole offseason. So now they understand what they're trying to do. Tonight they're going to put it together. And tonight I hope we're going to see something we haven't seen in a while. And that's some good overall defense. I feel like we're going to have a better run-stopping defense. We're going to have a better pass-rushing defense, not just from the outside edge, I think across the board. If our middle of our defense can at least hold serve and not be the parting of the Red Sea so the quarterback can step up, then you're going to see the Randy Gregories and the D-Laws being able to get to the quarterback. That it's going to be the trash compactor in Star Wars closing up on the quarterback. And that the D-backs won't have to hold up for 7-8 seconds. And that's where I'm hoping that the work that the Dallas Cowboys have done and have implemented are going to pay dividends. We'll see tonight. I can't wait to see it. Like I said, I think Washington played a really good game last night. They took what the defense on the other side gave them, their offense. They're going to be doing a lot of screens and a lot of drop-offs and a lot of dinking and dunking by the looks of what we saw last night. Ryan Fitzpatrick is prone to make mistakes, and that defense of Washington is going to be a beast. There's no doubt about it. They got a lot of speed, and they got a lot of guys that can hit you. It's going to be physical. It's going to be the black and blue division like it used to be. And that's where we hope that our offensive line can hold up. So come week 14, that it's going to be man on man, hat on hat, and let the games begin. So don't forget today, 3:30 today, we'll be live streaming our fantasy football draft, League Number 2. That's right, League Number 2 today at 3:30 with my man Roz and D2 Stu, a.k.a. Mr. Wolf. And then, of course, tonight we will be live streaming during the game. My man E2 Blue is going to be in the house, and we'll keep you up to speed with everything that is the Dallas Cowboys. You know the deal. Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report.
You did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is